Alrighty, I'm in my cabin now, well, my workshop, and first thing I'm going to do is the headstock. Now I have a signature little scoop thing that I do for my Spirit Dance guitars, and that's the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to be using my Dremel tool here, which has a very funky cutter, which is awesome for doing this, and I'm going to use that. And safety as always, goggles and face mask as well, so because I don't want the dust getting in my nose and everything, because I've got an hour and then I've got to do a guitar lesson. Such is life. So I'm going to get on with this. That's the first thing I'm going to do, and it's going to make this look really special. And there you go, scoop is done. Yay! It's feeling really good. Alrighty, time to finish the neck, and for this the first thing I'm going to do is cover the back in carbon fibre. And this is real carbon fibre, this is a real sheet of carbon fibre, it's a 1mm sheet. Now this actually, how this came about was by accident, because when I built the original Spirit Dance guitar, I managed to break the headstock of the guitar neck that I was working on for the guitar, for the prototype for Medicine Crow. And when I repaired it, I basically sandwiched it between a 1mm veneer layer on the top and a piece of carbon fibre on the back, because I knew that carbon fibre would be really strong. And there was a break right here. It was about here on the headstock, so it was in a bit of an awkward place. So I really wanted to make it strong, and that's how I did it, with the carbon fibre. And then it became a feature of the guitars. I decided to put it onto the back of the headstock and create a feature of it every time I built another Spirit Dance guitar. So I have a little paper template which I have drawn and cut out, which goes onto the back of the headstock here. Got some musical notes on it. It was a piece of tab printed out. And I'm going to transfer this over to the carbon fibre and then cut it out with my Dremel tool, and then I'm going to epoxy it to the back of the neck. So that's what I'm going to do next. So I have my little template here, like I said, just a paper template, and I've actually marked it front and back because I need to know which side to cut out on, because if I cut it out this way, then it'll be a reverse. And in fact, this piece of carbon fibre is lacquered on both sides, so I can use whichever side. Sometimes you'll have a weave on one side and lacquer on the other. This is same both sides, so it won't really matter. But usually I'll actually do it so that the front, which is actually going to stick onto the headstock, is on this side, so that I know that it is going to bond onto the headstock. And when it is textured, it's great, because then the resin which I use, the epoxy resin which I use to stick it on, really gets into the grooves and stuff. So, but this will be fine as well. I'm just going to put it right at the edge. So the flat side, I'm going to put it at the edge, and then I'm just going to secure it with a little bit of masking tape, just so that I can draw the around the template. I'm just using a little Sharpie for this. And there you go, a little outline on there. The reason I like to do it here is for two reasons. Firstly, carbon fibre is pretty expensive. it does cost a little bit. And the other reason is because the flat side, I know it's even already, and I like to use that as a feature right on the bottom of the neck. Just down here, so that it lines up properly and I don't have to cut it. And the other reason is because it's going to be much easier to start cutting around here than in the middle of the sheet or something like that. And I can use other bits of the carbon fibre later as well. Alright, it's ready to cut. I have this little kind of jig thing which I use to cut stuff, to put stuff on and just cut. And I've used this to cut the carbon fibre previously. The reason I use masking tape instead of like clamps is because clamps get in the way, and it also allows me to move this around if I need to. And there you go, basic shape cut out. I still need to do this little bit around here, which I'm going to do off camera because that's a little bit tricky to do. I might do it by hand, just with a little saw. And there you go, all done, cut out beautifully and ready to be epoxied to the back of the headstock. One last thing I've done before applying the glue is I've actually scratched up the side that's going to stick onto the headstock with some very coarse grit sandpaper, and the other side is still shiny. The reason I do this is so that the epoxy can really stick onto this, and I've done the same at the back of the headstock. So I've just used this same piece of like 40 grit sandpaper to actually rough up this this piece of wood so that both of these pieces stick together properly. Got everything ready to do the epoxy. Got my glue, 2-part glue, something to mix it with, something to apply it with, clamps, because I'll need these to actually clamp this piece of carbon fibre down. Obviously the neck and the piece of carbon fibre which I've just fabricated into that shape. So I've done a very thin coat on here for two reasons, because I don't want it spilling out the sides, and also it's very strong. So I'm going to put it on the headstock now. there you go, it's all done, it's clamped down. And one of the reasons I haven't put anything on top of the carbon fibre is I'm going to lacquer over this anyways, so it's going to come out nice and shiny, so I'm not too worried if some very minor scratches go onto it. That's it. This is to dry for a few days now, and then I'll drill the holes for the tuners, and the neck will be pretty much done. One of the final parts of the headstock is applying the logo, which I'm going to do now. Alright, the headstock logo is done. I'm just going to wait for it to dry and then put some lacquer coats to seal it into the headstock so it doesn't wear off. Alrighty, so the body is lacquered, the neck is lacquered, well the headstock is front and back, and the carbon fiber's on there. This is all done, it's all dried, it's been curing for about 10 days now. I like to leave it a little while so that the lacquer can properly cure. I'm just going to polish this up a very little bit, and the headstock as well, and then I'm going to oil the neck. Then once I've done that and the neck's basically dried and all of the oil's in there, it's going to be assembly time. I'm getting pretty excited about this. This is going to look, check it out, so cool. So I'm going to get polishing this and this first of all, and then do a couple of bits and pieces. So to oil the back of the neck, I'm using this boiled linseed oil, which is really good for guitar necks and just plain wooden stuff. So that's going to make this look really, really good and feel really great. Now this neck looks particularly beautiful when oiled because it's flamed maple. It just looks so good. Check it out. It's absolutely gorgeous. Alright, I'm going to put that aside and let that dry.
That's all for now, folks. Next episode I'm going to be putting this awesome guitar together. It came out spectacular, so you're going to want to watch this. Remember to sub to the channel and also click that bell notification so you know when the next episode is out, and hit that like button and share it with your friends as well. And if you'd like to support the channel, please do head over to Patreon. See you next time. If you'd like more information about Spirit Dance guitars, please head over to the website spiritdanceguitars.com.